Hello, this is Susan reading to you from the Attleboro Sun Chronicle. Today is Thursday, June 11th, 2026. Our top story today in the Sun Chronicle: a son killed, a father outraged. Sentence in son's shooting death stuns veteran Wrentham police officer and family, by Mike Kirby. Richard Mayhew worked as a Wrentham police officer for more than 40 years. But after what he and his family say was an unjust sentence given to the man who shot and killed his son, he is disappointed and angry. "I just question the justice system now," Mayhew said. "I'm ashamed of what it's become because I spent more than half my life helping the justice system." The Mayhew family is furious because the man who shot Jason Mayhew, a 36-year-old Wrentham native and father of two, could be released after about 4 years in prison. "We're not very happy with it at all," the father said of the sentence. "It's one of those things where we don't know where to turn." Jason's sister, Joanna Rodriguez, called the sentence a slap in the face. On June 2nd, Enrique Antonio Canales Martinez, 27, pleaded guilty in Worcester Superior Court to one count of manslaughter, according to court records. Canales Martinez and Jason Mayhew lived on different floors of the same Worcester apartment building. The two men had an argument on June 21st, 2025, when Mayhew went to Canales Martinez's apartment to complain about loud music. At one point during the argument, Canales Martinez brandished a semi-automatic handgun, according to court testimony. When Mayhew saw the gun, he returned to his apartment, and both men called police. Police instructed Canales Martinez to remove the bullets from his gun and told Mayhew to remain in his apartment. Neither man complied. Richard Mayhew said Jason's fiancée, Ashley During, and her two sons were inside the apartment, and he did not want them involved in any confrontation, so he went outside. According to court testimony, Mayhew then argued with Canales Martinez's girlfriend and another woman. Canales Martinez later stepped outside carrying the gun. Security video from a nearby school showed Mayhew rushing toward Canales Martinez after what appeared to be shouting between the two men, Richard Mayhew said. Canales Martinez then ran, turned, and fired 2 shots, one striking Mayhew in the abdomen and the other in the leg, according to testimony. Police found Mayhew wounded on the sidewalk. Officers rendered aid until he was transported to UMass Memorial Medical Center, University campus, where he was pronounced dead, according to court records. Defense attorney Elliot Levine told Boston.com that Mayhew charged at him after Canales Martinez told him to stop. He also said his client regretted the tragic situation and pleaded guilty to avoid prolonging the court proceedings. "We had a viable case of self-defense," Levine said. "It was a sad set of circumstances that he regrets having happened." Richard Mayhew questioned how the incident could be considered self-defense. "When you bring a gun into an argument with an unarmed man, they can't claim it's self-defense," he said. Canales Martinez admitted to shooting Mayhew shortly after his arrest. He was initially charged with armed assault with intent to murder, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon causing serious bodily injury, assault and battery by firearm, and discharging a firearm within 500 feet of a dwelling. However, a grand jury later returned a single charge of manslaughter in a September 2025 indictment. Worcester Assistant DA Joseph Simmons recommended a sentence of 14 to 16 years, while Levine asked for a 3-year sentence, according to the district attorney's office. The maximum penalty for manslaughter in Massachusetts is up to 20 years in state prison. Simmons told the family the case would be difficult to prosecute for a lengthy sentence because the defendant remained at the scene, admitted firing the gun, and cooperated with police. If he wants to plea, he could get 14 years in jail. Do I think that's right? No, but I know we're not going to get 18 to 20, Richard Mayhew said of why the family accepted the recommendation. The father was also upset that the defense raised the fact that Jason Mayhew had alcohol and marijuana in his system at the time of the altercation. However, the prosecution was not permitted to introduce evidence that Canales Martinez had previously faced 2 restraining orders, both of which were closed, and an assault and battery charge that had been dismissed. It's like he doesn't have any rights anymore because he's dead, Richard Mayhew said. Family members submitted victim impact statements, 5 of which were read at sentencing. Richard Mayhew said Judge Reardon made little eye contact and spoke briefly during sentencing. At one point, he said, "I wish there was more I could do for you." A graduate of King Philip Regional High School, Jason Mayhew was a heavy equipment operator who enjoyed the outdoors. Mayhew is survived by his fiancée and her 2 sons. His son Declan and Sawyer, his father and stepmother, Pam Mayhew, his mother, his sister, a stepbrother, his grandparents, niece and nephew, several aunts and cousins. A celebration of his life will be held from noon to 4 p.m. Sunday, September 21st, at Navatas Bar and Grill in Norfolk, according to his obituary. Guests are asked to wear pink. Again, this is Susan reading to you from the Attleboro Sun Chronicle. Today, Thursday, June 11th. And other top stories, 2 days to go. Foxborough says it's ready but warns of heavy traffic, by Stephen Peterson. World Cup 2026. Foxborough. After months of planning, town officials say Foxborough is ready to host the biggest sporting event in the world starting Saturday, but they are advising residents to expect disruptions. The first of 7 World Cup matches at Gillette Stadium, which will be called Boston Stadium during the FIFA tournament, kicks off at 9 p.m. Saturday when Scotland faces Haiti. Foxborough is proud to serve as the host community for Boston Stadium, and our focus is on making sure match days are safe, coordinated, and well managed for residents, visitors, businesses, and fans, Police Chief Michael Grace said. Our department has been planning closely with local, state, federal, venue, and event partners for many months. Officials said the late-night weekend start time for the first match is expected to ease traffic congestions compared with a late afternoon weekday exhibition match in March that served as a tune-up for the tournament. The MBTA plans to run 14 special trains for each match to and from the stadium, accommodating an estimated 20,000 fans, up to about 1/3 of the stadium's capacity. Hundreds of buses transporting fans are also expected to reduce traffic along Route 1 and surrounding roadways in and around town. Still, officials said residents should expect heavier traffic, longer travel times, delays near Gillette Stadium, and impacts on major roads in Foxborough and neighboring communities. Match days will differ significantly from typical Patriots games, concerts, or other stadium events. Local roads are expected to see heavier than usual traffic heading toward the stadium beginning as much as 4 hours before kickoff and departing traffic for up to 3 hours after the final whistle, officials said. Road closures and other traffic adjustments will begin 6 hours before kickoff and remain in place until 6 hours after the match ends. Trains are expected to run into the early morning hours for night matches, including Saturday's game. The final trains are expected to depart around 3 a.m., possibly later. The trains will idle primarily in Mansfield and Walpole, but also more frequently than usual in Foxborough, where the station near the stadium has been upgraded with an expanded platform. The town has created a World Cup information page and community resource guideline on its website, foxboroughma.gov. Information for residents, businesses, and fans includes MBTA contact information, transportation plans, parking restrictions, public safety measures, commuter impacts, and other details. Officials said town staff have been coordinating with state, regional, and federal partners on transportation, public safety, infrastructure, emergency response, and planning. A wide security perimeter has been established around the stadium, and officials warned it could take fans an hour or more to pass through checkpoints. Other World Cup matches at Gillette are Tuesday, June 16th at 6 p.m., Norway versus Iraq. Friday, June 19th, 6 p.m., Scotland versus Morocco. Tuesday, June 23rd, 4 p.m., England versus Ghana. Friday, June 26, 3 p.m., Norway versus France. Monday, June 29, 4:30 p.m., round of 32, match 74. Thursday, July 9, 4 p.m., quarterfinal, match 97. And in other news, in Attleboro's Sun Chronicle, a ride for life, a pitch at Fenway. North Cancer Survivor Takes Mound Friday by Mike Kirby. Greg Aubin will be doing something Friday night that young New Englanders would love to do. Take the mound at Fenway Park. The 49-year-old North Attleboro man will throw out the ceremonial first pitch on Pan Mass Challenge Night at the home of the Boston Red Sox, something he says he's terrified about. Aubin has completed 12 Pan Mass challenges, raising more than $85,000 for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston. This August, he'll again ride 177 miles over 2 days from Worcester to Provincetown for one of the nation's leading cancer research hospitals. But the connection runs deeper. Aubin is one of more than 1,100 living proof participants in this year's Pan Mass Challenge. Riders or volunteers who were previously treated or are currently undergoing cancer treatment. In late 2024, melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, was discovered during Aubin's routine dermatology exam. Treatment began quickly at Dana-Farber and continued until March of this year. I was able to see the impact that the Pan Mass has on Dana-Farber, Aubin said. From the unique position I was in, I was able to really get a picture of what the fundraising does for that community. Never a cyclist in the past, Aubin got involved with the Pan Mass Challenge when friends Peter and Don Reagan of North Attleboro had one child diagnosed with leukemia, and then 7 years later, a second child developed Ewing sarcoma. He joined friends riding in the Pan Mass Challenge, and the children are now cancer-free. Aubin joined a PMC team and got hooked on cycling. That was especially important last year when he still participated in the Pan Mass Challenge, though taking a shorter route while undergoing treatment for melanoma. When team jerseys were handed out last August, Aubin was surprised to see his picture on one. That was special for me last year, he said. We're definitely a close-knit group. Aubin describes the ride as a couple of long days. If you put the miles in before, it's better, but it's still a couple of long days, he said. They say the fundraising is the toughest part of it, but I don't know about that. Besides the main August Pan Mass Challenge, Aubin participates in a winter PMC event and a fall ride in the Berkshires. He was told he would join other riders with their bikes on the field Friday at Fenway, but later was asked if he would throw out the first pitch. I said I'm interested and I'm terrified, he said. There will be a lot of people there, but the Pan Mass means a lot to me, so I couldn't say no. In other news, under City and Town, North's Council approves budget. Major changes to employee health insurance also okayed by Stephen Peterson, North Attleboro. The town has adopted a new spending plan for the fiscal year that begins July 1st, with major changes to employee health insurance aimed at easing pressure on local finances. Town council members voted unanimously Monday night to approve a $121 million budget, about $7.7 million higher than the current $113 million spending plan. The budget includes a $4.2 million tax increase through a Proposition 2.5 debt exclusion to cover the initial borrowing costs for a new $70 million high school. Taxpayers will see the impact of that increase on third and fourth quarter tax bills next year. Town manager Michael Borg proposed a balanced budget this spring, and the council's finance subcommittee spent weeks reviewing it before voting unanimously to recommend approval. This is not an exciting budget, Subcommittee Chairman John Simmons said. We don't have cuts, we don't have layoffs, we don't have a loss of programs. Despite several departments relocating to the new municipal building on Elm Street, expenses are being absorbed within the existing budget structure, officials said. That's all being done within the budget, Simmons said. No new positions are being created, although some part-time roles will become full-time. Those employees already receive benefits and will be cross-trained to assist in multiple departments as needed, Simmons said. The elections office has been consolidated into the town clerk's office, as is common in many communities. Education spending, including the town's assessment for Tricolor Regional Vocational Technical High School, will rise about $2 million to $59.9 million. Local schools will receive $53.3 million, an increase of about $2 million or 4%. School officials plan to add 4 positions using additional revenue from fees and other sources. These are critical positions they felt they had to fill to address growing class sizes and student needs, Simmons said. Public safety departments will see a $767,000 increase, or about 5%, bringing their total budget to $16.1 million. That figure includes police, fire, animal control, and ambulance services. One of the largest financial pressures remains employee health insurance, which totals about $13 million annually. The town faces a shortfall of more than $2 million in health insurance costs this year. Council members voted to cover that deficit using reserve funds. To address rising costs, the town will switch midway through the next fiscal year from a self-insurance model to the Massachusetts Group Insurance Commission program for active and retired employees. Council members approved a memorandum of agreement negotiated with employee unions to participate in the state program for 3.5 years beginning January 1st. We will be able to see immediate savings, Simmons said. This is going to be better in the long run for employees and the town. The change will shift coverage from Blue Cross to Harvard Pilgrim, among other adjustments, though employees will have more plan options. Simmons said the town will eliminate its high-deductible plan. It has gotten more difficult, Council President Justin Parr said of recent budgets, citing insurance costs and payments for the Tri-County High School project. It's still a little of a precarious position. I think we are managing it quite well. Council Vice President Keith LaPointe said he was struck how small some departments' budgets are, how much they do with less than $1 million, pointing to the library as an example. They deliver high-class services. Council members also approved $4.4 million in capital spending for building and equipment projects, including $1.4 million for the High Street Fields project, $700,000 for road work, $500,000 to replace the community field playground, $400,000 to repave World WW1 Park, $350,000 for student Chromebook replacements, $330,000 for a school bus, $300,000 for a parking lot at the new municipal building, $190,000 for 2 new police cruisers. In addition, $18.3 million was approved for water projects, including $16 million for construction of a water treatment plant at the Hillman Well site to address PFAS contamination, so-called forever chemicals found in water supplies nationwide. Councilor Dan Donovan said the town is ahead of most communities in meeting new state and federal PFAS standards and has secured state and federal funding assistance for the projects. There is an obituary today in the Attleboro Sun Chronicle. Brenda Gran, 73, Attleboro. Brenda Gran of Attleboro passed away peacefully on Sunday, June 7, 2026, at the age of 73, following a multi-year battle with cancer. Born on April 13, 1953 in Attleboro, Brenda was the daughter of the late Irvin Myers and Gertrude Trudy Stone McKeon. She spent her entire life in Attleboro. She was predeceased by her parents and sister, Lorna McEwen. A private family service will be held in the Memorial Chapel of the Dyer Lake Funeral Home Village of Attleboro Falls, North Attleboro. For additional information or to send the family a written expression of sympathy, please visit an online guest book at dyer-lakefuneralhome.com. Arrangements are under the direction of the Dyer-Lake Funeral Home, 161 Commonwealth Avenue, Village of Attleboro Falls, North Attleboro. The phone number is 508-695-0200. And under briefs, Foxborough Road closed for fallen pole. In Foxborough, Leonard Street was closed Tuesday after a tractor-trailer brought down a utility pole. The accident took place near the railroad tracks, forcing a freight train to be stopped. The road wasn't reopened until nearly midnight. In Norfolk, Teen Tech Safety Talk, Thursday. Police Chief James Barrett Thursday is holding a forum for caregivers of teens and young people on tech safety. The session will run from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the library. That would be this evening. Topics will include cyberbullying, exchanging images and exploitation, social media use, misuse, cybersecurity, and how to talk tech safety with your kids. Register at norfolkmass.gov. And in Rehoboth, children's book sale at Rehoboth Library. A children's book sale is being held from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Thursday at Blanding Library. Gently used books for children of all ages are $4 a bag. Adults must accompany children. Proceeds benefit the Friends of the Blanding Library. And in Along the Way in the Sun Chronicle, a hop to help cancer patients. The Joe Andruzzi Foundation, which provides help, hope, and a reason to smile for New England cancer patients and their families through financial support, recently raised $7,100 at their family-friendly Hop Over fundraiser last month at Angle Tree Brewery in North Attleboro. The event celebrated the organization's 18th anniversary, with all proceeds going on to help cancer patients and their families. Get help staying cool this summer as warmer weather arrives. The Massachusetts Good Neighbor Energy Fund, or MAC Good Neighbor, is reminding eligible residents that assistance remains available for those struggling to pay a home energy expense. While this fund is often associated with winter heating bills, Mass Good Neighbors continues to remain a source for income-eligible households facing temporary financial hardship throughout the year. Administered by the Salvation Army Massachusetts Division, the fund pays the energy provider directly for eligible households whose gross income falls between 60% and 80% of the state's median income levels. Residents seeking assistance can visit their local Salvation Army Corps Community Center at salvationarmyma.org or call 1-800-334-3047. And finally, donate in memory of Peanut the cat. Thompson Realty Group, located in Attleboro, is mourning the loss of their beloved mascot and general manager Peanut, who died Sunday. Peanut was adopted in 2017 by the group's owners Bill Thompson and Mike Barrett. He quickly became a part of a family that eventually grew to 6 other rescue cats. Peanut will forever remain their general manager. In honor of his memory, the group is inviting those who are able to make a donation to the Massachusetts Feline Intervention Alliance, a local foster and cat rescue nonprofit serving Attleboro and surrounding communities. The donations link can be found on the MA-FIA Facebook page. This has been Susan reading to you from the Attleboro Sun Chronicle. Again, today is Thursday, June 11th, 2026.